Hey guys, I'm Darius CINCYS with Coldwell Banker Bain, your Bellevue realtor, and in today's video, I'm going to take you on a driving tour through downtown Bellevue. So let's take a look at the map where we're going to be going, and we'll go for a ride. So just for context, here's this map of the state of Washington, and then if you zoom in right here, where you see Seattle and Bellevue. So we're going to start up here at the southern tip of Bellevue, and we're going to drive north up to the main street where we'll take a left. And then when we take a left on Main Street, we'll drive through Old Bellevue up all the way to Evergreen Point Road in Medina. Then we will take a right, head north, take a right on 24th Street through Clyde Hill, and then we'll come back down south through the downtown core. And once we hit the 8th Street, we'll take a left and do one quick circle, just so you see the convention center where the freeway is. And then we'll take a ride back up to close it out right in the heart of downtown. So let's go for a ride. Straight ahead here, we're passing the East Link extension of the light rail that's currently under construction. And the estimated completion is 2023. And when done, the light rail will actually go all the way from South Seattle. It'll go through Mercer Island, through downtown Bellevue, and all the way up to Redmond to Microsoft. So it'll be a very convenient route for a lot of commuters, whether going into Seattle, between Seattle and the east side. And so now we're heading north on Bellevue Way. And as I mentioned, basically I-90 is behind us. On the left-hand side, so west of us, is Enetai, which is all suburban residential areas. North is downtown Bellevue. And then east is 405, and then East Bellevue. So today's tour, we're only doing a quick route through West Bellevue. So we'll do another video to capture some of the more suburban areas of Bellevue, which are on the east side of 405. Pro tip, if you ever are driving here on Bellevue Way, over the last 4 months or so, there are cops here almost daily clocking. And with all the construction with the light rail, the speed limit has been reduced to 30 miles an hour. And right if you get off the freeway going 60 or 70, 30 feels very slow. But they're just ticketing people all day. So you've been warned. Bellevue is the second largest city in Washington, behind Seattle. Some demographics. So the median resident range here is 34 years old. And it's actually one of the state's most diverse and inclusive communities. Then, so we're still on Bellevue Way, and then far in the distance, straight ahead, is the core of downtown. And most of it here, so south of us, most of the kind of the southern tip of West Bellevue, if you will, is mainly residential communities. Just a street over, or a few blocks over on the right-hand side here, we can't see it, is the Bellevue High School, which is actually the Bellevue School District in general constantly ranks in the top few in the Washington state and the top few hundred in the nation. It's a very, very desirable school district and is the reason why a lot of people want to move here. And then here on the right-hand side is actually my office, Coldwell Banker Bain. So this is where you can find me on most days. And we will now take a left on Main Street. So as you can see, the kind of some of the high rises ahead of us, that would be considered the main core of downtown Bellevue. And that's where we're gonna, towards the end, after we do a loop through Medina and Clyde Hill, we'll be driving through that to show you. On the Main Street is what's called Old Bellevue. So me personally, that is my favorite part of town. It really has it's very close to the core of the downtown, but it still maintains a very calm, cute, small town feel. So some of my favorite restaurants are up here between Carmine's and 520 Grill. Biz on Main is another great restaurant for you to check out. And there are some apartment buildings here as well. So it's a very desirable area to live in, and it's also within a 10-minute walk to the core of downtown. So it's very convenient. And you'll see it has a bunch of cute little small shops. And actually, we'll do a quick detour because I want to show you Bellevue Park. So straight ahead here, a few things. Molly Moon's on the right-hand side is a great ice cream shop. Carmine's on our right-hand side is my favorite restaurant. It's a great Italian food. And then straight ahead is the downtown Bellevue Park. And it's, today is like really gloomy and it might even start raining on us, it looks like. But we've had a great summer. So the weather's been beautiful, and on a sunny day, this place is packed. They've recently renovated the downtown park. They have a massive playground for kids. And actually, we take Noah here quite often, and he just loves it. So just to kind of get back on our planned route, I'll take a left again to go back on the main street. If we take a left at this light, we'll be back on the head towards the old Bellevue, but we'll take a right. The street here turns into Lake Washington Boulevard. It's kind of funny how many people are looking at us because our video setup is, we have 3 phones, a GoPro, and a camera. So we came prepared to get this one for you guys. So we're now on Lake Washington Boulevard. And as we follow this, on the left-hand side here is Maidenbower Bay Park. So that is Lake Washington. From the cameras we have, you don't really see a good view, but go watch my other videos on Bellevue and you'll see Maidenbower Park. We're now again kind of in the suburbs of West Bellevue. So this neighborhood is currently called Maidenbower, named after the bay. And the homes here are also very desirable. Many homes, it's a slight hill off the lake. So a lot of them have beautiful lake views. And as we continue straight, we're gonna bump into Medina. So we're now in Medina. And on the left-hand side, you'll see Medina Park. So as I mentioned at the beginning, Medina is actually its own city, but it's so close in proximity to West Bellevue. I figured it seems fitting to kind of drive through it as well. And it has some of the most expensive real estate around here. I actually pulled some stats, and an average price of a home sold in Medina over the first half of 2021 is $4.8 million, which sounds outrageous, but this is kind of the most expensive pocket. The who's who, a lot of Bill Gates, their main residence is up here on the waterfront. I know Bezos has a house here. A lot of the other original Microsoft executives live in Medina as well. And so if we would just keep going straight, we'd basically bump into Lake Washington. And instead, we're taking a right on Evergreen Point Road. And now we're heading back north. So this is the really coveted street where most of the expensive real estate is. Most of it is on our left-hand side on the water on Lake Washington. And you're not going to see a lot of them here just because most of them are really tucked back behind private gates, and they're all massive residences. So you might be able to see some little corners of homes. But again, the whole area is most of the homes are on larger lots, and they're very private and secluded. So now we will be taking a right on Northeast 24th, and we're going to be driving through Clyde Hill. So Clyde Hill is another, it's almost a neighborhood. Again, it could be mixed up could be confused as a neighborhood, but it is also its own city. And the real estate here is also extremely expensive. So I said an average price of a home in Medina over the first half of the year was $4.8 million. And up here in Clyde Hill, the average price of a home sold was $3.25 million over the first 6 months of 2021. So it's still very expensive. And as it compares to Bellevue as a whole, within the Bellevue city limits, the average price of a single family residence in Bellevue is $1.6 million. So homes here in Clyde Hill are basically double the average cost of a home in Bellevue. and then in Medina, it's almost triple. And some of the more affordable real estate in Bellevue is on the east side, east of 405, and then we'll do a different driving tour to show you what that looks like. We'll do another quick little detour just to show you Overlake. It's actually straight ahead. There's a sign, City of Clyde Hill. So now on the right-hand side, we're still in, that's Medina. That's Overlake Golf Course that you see. And then Clyde Hill is on the left. So actually, I took a little detour. So I'm just going to turn through this one street here to get back on our original route. And then perhaps it'll give you some scenes of what the homes look like. Clyde Hill, I mean, it's called a hill for a reason. You can see straight ahead where we're going to be climbing up a pretty steep hill. I'm not going to go, I'll take a left to get on the original route, but a lot of the homes in Clyde Hill also have beautiful views of Lake Washington, the Seattle skyline, and due to its proximity to downtown core and an easy way to get to Seattle through the 520 bridge, this is also a very, very desirable community. And similar to what we saw in Medina, a lot of the homes are still on good sized lots. There's very mature landscaping. So you'll see some homes, and it's a very good mixture of, I would say maybe a good portion of the homes were built in the 60s and 70s and then 80s, and then a lot of the homes, there's quite a bit of new construction as well. So if there's any older homes that are tear downs, builders are buying them up and building very new contemporary modern homes. And here's a good example. So on the left hand side, you will see a very new construction modern home right across the street. It appears to be an older Rambler. So it's a good mix of new modern luxury architecture, of some mid-century modern Ramblers, of just traditional Northwest contemporary architecture. So it's a very diverse. And so on the right-hand side, we just drove by, that's the Clyde Hill Elementary School, which is also in the Bellevue School District. And now we just are approaching Bellevue Way. So we take a right. So if I took a left here, I'd bump right into 520, which would take me to Seattle or to Redmond. And if I kept going farther straight, I would head into Kirkland. So here again in the distance, you can see downtown Bellevue and the high rises. So we're gonna go to 8th Street and we'll take a left and we'll do another little turnaround through the core of downtown just so you get a good feel for what it is. Downtown Bellevue has over 200 restaurants and coffee shops and cafes, all kind of right in the center. The walking score for the downtown core is 94, so the city's very walkable. I also believe I read there's like 4,000 hotel rooms between the Hyatt up here, Westin, the W, and they all are kind of really crammed. Cramped's not the right word. They're all conveniently located in the core of downtown. To be honest, I would usually run that yellow, but since we were on camera, I figured I better follow the rules. We're now approaching the northeast 8th Street, so we'll be taking a left. And straight ahead here, so on the right-hand side is the Bellevue Square Mall, and we'll get a better angle as we kind of loop around. And then the Lincoln Square development is on the left-hand side. So, and Lincoln Square was built, it hasn't been that long. I want to say like 2015, 16. I might be lying, maybe a little bit older. But so there's a big office tower. So Microsoft, it occupies most of the office space here. But there's also shopping, restaurants. So there's a movie theater. There's a bowling alley, Lucky Strike's there. And so most of the action and the nightlife, there's a few nightclubs here. So kind of in the core of downtown. So there's another sky bridge above that connects Lincoln Square to the Hyatt Hotel. And then here we're heading east now. And you see all this construction and crane. So there's lots of new development in Bellevue. And up here on the right-hand side, actually, there's going to be office towers that Amazon is going to be moving in. I think I read that over the next year or so, Amazon is planning on creating another 25,000 jobs in the core of downtown Bellevue. So the city has been growing at a ridiculous pace, and it shows no signs of slowing down whatsoever. So straight ahead, and we'll get a better look here, we'll pass right by it, but it's going to be the Bravern. And so the Bravern is also a mixed-use development that's been around for a little bit, but it has a lot of the high-end shopping. So a lot of your designer stores like Hermes and Gucci and Louis Vuitton, Neiman Marcus are all there. There's also a lot of office space, and Microsoft also has a big chunk of office space there. And there's also high-end luxury apartments. Aside from Bellevue Square, which is the main shopping hub in Bellevue, Bravern is kind of the more higher-end pocket. And the reason I wanted to turn off here on 8th, just to kind of give you a different angle, because straight ahead you'll see all these freeway signs. So this is 405 is ahead. So most people, if you're taking 405, you would get off here and you would get into downtown, kind of heading in the opposite direction than we are now. So we're not going to go all the way there. And ahead there, there's Overlake Hospital, there's Whole Foods, and again, a lot of the residential neighborhoods of Lake Hills and Crossroads, and we will be sure to do another driving tour for you there. But between the two main exits to get into the I guess there's three, right? So there's one that's Bellevue Way, where we started this driving tour at the southern tip, and then there is 8th Avenue, there's 8th and 4th Street, not Avenue, that are two exits off of 405. So most of the traffic of incoming and outgoing from the city of Seattle or from the city of Bellevue is through here. And then actually these buildings, the kind of the rounder shaped glass on the right hand side are Bellevue Towers. So this is one of the few more desirable condominium towers in downtown Bellevue. So if you want high-end luxury downtown living in a condo, you'd probably be either looking to live in Bellevue Towers or Washington Square, or there's a handful of new developments that are still being still being sold. 188 is one of them, and then the Avenue is another one. And we're bumping back up against the Bellevue Way. So we kind of did the final loop here. So here on the left, straight ahead, is Bellevue Square Mall, and then the Bellevue Park that you saw at the beginning on the left-hand side. And then here's where most of the restaurants are on the right-hand side. Bellevue Square, again, is on the left-hand side. Every winter, there's a snowflake lane. I guess festival is not the right word, but they close off this whole main drag, and there's a performance every night that they put out fake snow, and there's dancing and music, and it's really put you in a holiday spirit. And we are approaching 8th Street again, which basically said take a left here. But this will pretty much conclude our tour. Hopefully this gave you a pretty good idea of West Bellevue as a whole. I mean, if there's any particular pocket you're interested in, reach out to me anytime. I'll do another private tour just for you, or we'll do more of these. Like I mentioned, the next goal will be to kind of capture some of the residential neighborhoods on the east side of the freeway. Besides that, I hope you found this useful. If you're moving to Bellevue, give me a call. I'll find you a place.